From here, coming to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1932. Genealogy gift ideas. We've got the holidays about to start. Well, yeah. So we're getting into that time of the season where we have to start thinking about gift ideas for the holidays. Some people may have already got all their shopping, done. I know there are people out there who get their shopping done like 2 months in advance, 3 months in advance. It's crazy. So I got this email today, which was for a blog article written by a fellow genealogist. And I had to read about it. And she was sort of like, what sort of gifts do genealogists give? And she gave a couple of ideas. And then I thought, I kind of like her list. So I'm going to take that and expand on it a little bit. But she had some great ideas in there. She had things like, let's see what was in there. So this is a mixture of what she had and my stuff added in as well. So number one gift idea would be a family history calendar. Create a custom calendar featuring birthdays, anniversaries, key events like immigration dates, military service, graduations, baptisms, marriages. Oh, anniversaries, that's already in there, sorry. You can make it digital, or you can use a template to fill it in and get it printed. And if you go traditional to get it printed, you can some of them will even have fonts that look like handwriting on there as well. And some of them you can may have just the grids, but some of them will also have like places where you can put a picture at the top and it's got the month below that. So if you've got the pictures, put pictures of the people that are mentioned in that month into the piece at the top. Now, I have no idea where it is, but one year we had a whole bunch. We did an informal family shoot one time, and just to get pictures, but for my mother-in-law to update the pictures that she had and that sort of thing. We thought we'll get some family pictures. So what I ended up doing with those pictures is, yes, everybody got copies of them. But then what I did for Christmas that year is I took all the pictures and created them into a family photo book, which happens to be idea number 2. But at the same time, I also created a calendar. And on that calendar, if there was somebody in that month having a birthday, their picture, and my mother-in-law was in every single shot. So, and we did individual shots with each of her grandchildren, group shots and individual families, and pictures with just her boys, pictures with just the daughter-in-laws. It was a fun evening. We just took over this area in the Courtyard Hotel that was downstairs off the lobby, and we just went for it and had fun. But I took something. What I did is that any person who had a birthday in that month that had their picture with her, we put it up in the top. And sometimes we had to have a collage because there might have been more than one person having a birthday in that month. But she had those pictures there so she could see who the pictures were, and we had everybody's names and the correct dates. We had the year. We had their name, and then we had in parentheses we had their birth year. So if she needed to figure out how old people were going to be, we did put that in there. We put wedding anniversaries in there. It was actually a really cool calendar, and she loved it. We sent one to each family as well, along with the family photo book that we compiled as well. Great gifts. It turned out really, really good. It was actually a really cool calendar. The book and everything, and just lots of great memories of that night in there. So that's number 1 and 2. So family history calendar, but you can not just put it to current family members. You can also put in there, even if the people are no longer with us, you could put in there siblings and parents and aunts and uncles and cousins and grandparents and great grandparents. Decide how far back you want to go to be able to include these people in the calendar. How many generations do you want to go back? And it's and then if you can get the photographs of, if they've got military service, have a picture of them in their military uniform. Do you have that? If it's for graduation, do you have pictures of their graduation? Just find things that you could put in there so that people will just sort of have a calendar. And it can be, it will be for, say for example, for 2025, but it's also got all the dates and we've got the years in there as well, so that people can utilize that calendar over and over and over again. But yeah, you kind of have to redo it every year. But once you've got the first one done, you just go in and you change the date, you change the months and things like that. So So you've got the calendar, and then you've got the family photo book. And don't just include current photos, also include pictures of those no longer with us. Decide again, how many generations do you want to go back? So you're not only compiling a book across generations with the older photographs in there, also make sure you include the latest photographs in there today. I have to share this one though, because this would be awesome in a family photo book if you have the photos to do it. My parents went up to visit my brother, his wife, their kids, and got to meet their latest grandchild. And they had actually compiled this like slideshow of my brother from when he was 8 weeks old through to, I think, either 13 or 16 years of age. So they could show the wife and the kids some of his baby pictures and stuff. They had a picture in there of when that was taken when he was 8 weeks old. My brother's youngest son just turned 8 weeks old. The pictures are almost, one's black and white, one's color. That's the only difference between, you can tell that it's taken in two different eras. One's a black and white photo, one's a color photograph. Otherwise, their facial features are identical. It was uncanny. And my mum sent the picture with the two photos side by side. And I was just like, that is so cool. So if you have pictures like that, or pictures of babies when they were a certain age, and you can see the family resemblance there, put them side by side in a photo book and have the names listed underneath. Remember, when you're doing things like photo books or photo albums, make sure you have the basic information. The basic information is who, what, who, where, and when. So when was it taken, where was it taken, and who's in the photograph? Because there's nothing worse than getting all these family photographs and you've got no clue as to who's in the photograph. And you got to try and figure it out. You got to find family members who may know who's in there. So when you're doing these photo albums and compiling them, put stories in there. If you add the captions, as long as you have the minimum of who, where, and when, who's in the photograph, when was it taken, where was it taken. As long as you have that basic information, if you've got a story that goes with the photograph, stick it in there. I tell you, they are so much fun to go back and have a look at. If you have letters and journals, how about getting them digitized and transcribed to preserve the stories? You can print them as booklets. You can create digital PDFs. You can even add annotations explaining family members or events. It's a great way to share family narratives, is with digital letters and journals. And this way you can preserve the originals as well, but everybody in the family has a copy. My mum has done this for me with my great-grand aunt's letters that she wrote when she was living in the manor in Warboys. There was a little book published with all of her letters in there, and my mum happened to get hold of one of these copies of this book that my great aunt had. And it was my great aunt's, hang on. Yeah, it was my great aunt's aunt who wrote these letters. And so my mum was able to copy these for other members in the family and stuff, and she put them into archival safe sleeves that, one of those books that have all the sleeves in it. So I've got that. And then there was another one. My aunt gave me a copy of my great-grandmother's story that she wrote, which is rumored to be it was a fictional story that she wrote, but it was rumored to be based on her actual life. So I've got a copy of that. What else have I been given? That was a published book. I've got lots of stuff that's been given to me over time where people have taken a copy of an original and sent it to me. Those things are like gold. They are like gold. I love them. It doesn't matter if it's a PDF of the original or a photocopy of the original, as long as you can read it and share it with family members. Those stories are like gold. And as long as the original's being preserved for future generations, and you've got these photocopies that you can then hand down as well, it's gold. Number 4 on the list was family recipe book. Bring treasured family recipes together into a cookbook. Include digitized copies of original handwritten recipes. So scan those in, especially those from older generations. There are some family recipes that have been passed down through several generations, and over time there may have been tweaks made to them based on the ingredients. But some of them are still the original recipe that has been used for generations. And you could be talking 100, 200 years here. And if the dish is always served at family gatherings, add stories and reactions from other family members to capture the full experience. They're always fun. You make this recipe book. You got a picture of the recipe there. You got a picture of the dish when it's made. You've got stories on the opposite page. From like one page could be the recipe. On opposite, you've got stories about that recipe, about the room. Maybe how it was created. Maybe there's a story that goes with the recipe, how it was created, or how it came into the family, or how many generations it has survived. There could be some story about that recipe. Put them in there as well, because you've got the recipe, you've got the story behind it. You now know where it's come from, how it originated, and things. If you've got those stories, make them. They're awesome. Another one is frameable graphics and quotes. Create graphic prints, use something like Canva, where you can take graphic prints with family quotes. What are some sayings or images that are known in your family? For example, did you have a particular name for one of your ancestors? Were they known by a certain name? Was there a line that they always used to say? So pull in memorable lines from family letters, journals, or interviews. You can also make a montage of family photos, add flags representing ancestral homelands for a decorative touch. There's all sorts of things that you can do with this. If there is a saying that has been passed down through the generations that is particular to your family, include that in there. Make it into like an image that they can stick up on the wall or something. You could also do a customized ancestry map. Design a map showing your ancestors' migration routes or marking important locations. Frame it as a unique visual display or include it in a family history book for a deeper connection to places of family significance. So you could even have that map on there and have a smaller copy of it in the family history book, so they can refer to that. And then you can go and look at the bigger map where there's more detail and stuff on there. But that's a really cool way to see, where did the families come from? It's actually kind of cool. You could create a family tree ornament. Make a holiday ornament featuring your family tree or symbols representing your family history. You could even put quotes on there. You could put family photographs on them, on some tree ornaments based on the shape and the size of them. You could actually put like family photographs on one side. And if you can do anything on the back, put who's in that photograph, what family was that, what year was it taken, things like that. You could do heirloom story booklets. This is compiling a booklet with short family stories, funny anecdotes, or meaningful moments from ancestors. And it's a lighter, easier to read book. Is ideal for introducing family members to genealogy without overwhelming them. If you turned around and handed somebody, do I still have it in here? Or did I put it back out on the? I think I put it back out on the bookcase. Yeah, that one's back out on the bookcase. Darn. So instead of handing your family members this is just for demonstration purposes only, but say this was a family history book, and look how thick it is. If you handed that to somebody, they're going to sit there and go, and all they can see in there is diagrams and stories and all these little footnote things. That might scare them off. But if you have a little booklet that you can hand out, and do I have something, just a little booklet thing like about this size where they've got like little stories in them or something, they might be more willing to read that than read something like this. So think of it, something this size. So think about that. I thought I still had the Longland book in here, but it must be back out on the bookcase. Just seeing if I can quickly see it. No, it's back out on the bookcase. So, you can make little booklets up and things like that. That just have little short stories in them. You can also gift DNA kits, DNA testing kits like Ancestries or 23andMe or Family Tree DNA or one of those other DNA kits. You can gift people the DNA kits. Great way to explore the history even further and find those connections. You could even make up a family history game or trivia cards, making a game using family history trivia, interesting ancestor facts, or a matching game with old family photographs. Here's this picture. Who is it? Here's the names over here. Here are the pictures over here. Match them. It's a great way to engage family members, especially younger ones, and learning about their roots interactively. It is a huge thing. Like you can put that thing at a family reunion, and who was it that said this? Who was it that did that? And you can end up with some great discussions. Now, speaking of family reunions, and I saved this one for last. This is one of my favorite ones. This was not included on the list. I know the first 5 that I read out were included on the list, but this one here is my absolute favorite one. If you are somebody who goes to family reunions, make sure you record things, whether it's on a phone, on a digital recorder, on your phone, on your digital recorder, on a video recorder. Find some way to record the event. And here's why. So you're taking the things, you can use, you get all these videos at the end. You even ask other people, send me your videos from the thing. I want to make something from this that everybody's going to get a copy of, that memorializes the family reunion, especially if you do it like on an annual thing. This is a great thing to do for annual ones. If you're ones that do it like every 2, 3, 4, or 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, this is a great thing to do as well, because it also gives people something that they can look back on and remember. And then they have a rolling history that every time you do a reunion, we create this, we create a family reunion book, which has all of this really cool stuff in there. And it can take you back to that time period, but it also shows what's happened to people since last year, or 3 years ago, or 5 years ago, or 10 years ago. It shows you what happened between the reunions, because you're catching up with people. So you want to capture the essence of your latest family reunion in a keepsake book. Include photographs, stories, memories from the event, stories that they would tell from years past. And then what you can do is you can take those recordings, and this is what's really cool. You can take the video recordings. You can use different AI. There's different AI tools that are out there. Like you've got Otter, you've got Descript, you've got Rev, you've got Cast Magic, where you can go in there and these tools will transcribe the video recording. So now you have a written copy of the transcription. It takes a couple of minutes for these things to do that. And now you can take these transcriptions. Of course, you may have to proofread them. Just letting you know, you may have to proofread them. Like, you know how we get Nicole on here every month. And there was the one episode we were talking about vitamin D3. What was really funny is I was transcribing that video for her using one of the AI tools. And every time it had a word that had the letters D and E next to each other, like was DE, like debt, or because it's DE BT, or it had deal, DEAL. It would actually put, instead of putting DE, it would put capital D and then the number 3. Any word that had DE letters together, those DE letters would be replaced with a capital D and the number 3. Don't ask me why. It was the funniest thing I have ever seen. So that was just, you do have to proofread these. But now you have the transcriptions. But what do you do with the video recordings? Very simply, you create a private YouTube channel, and if you already have a YouTube channel, create a private playlist. So the only people that can get to that playlist are those that either have the link or they scan the QR code that is in the book. So you then and if you're in Canva, you get QR codes that will last you forever. So create the QR code in Canva, then put it into this book and say, if you want to see the video of this, scan this. Or if the scan's not, put the website underneath as well. So if they've got an electronic copy of the book, they just click the link. And then you have these videos on this private playlist on your YouTube channel, or you have a special YouTube channel that's completely private, and you put these videos up there. And you can have and then in the book, you've got, here is the transcript. If you want to see it, click here or scan here to go see that video. And so this is a way that you can get very interactive, where people can go watch the video version. They can read along with it. It keeps them interactive and keeps them more interested in what's going on. So you can also pull out memorable quotes for inclusions in the books, or creating framed graphics and quotes. You can throw recipes in there. If a family recipe was served at the reunion, include video clips of the family members sharing their thoughts about the dish or their memories about the dish. Transcribe these reactions and place them alongside the recipe in the book, and add the QR code for the video so family members can hear and see everyone's reactions. You can do short story videos. Use the AI tools like Pictory or Adobe's Premium Pro AI features to break larger videos into smaller individual stories. You can then transcribe these shorter clips and add the stories into the book as text along with the QR code to go to the video clip that's on the private YouTube channel. And that way family members can enjoy the videos along with just having the book. It makes a huge impact. And in the family reunion book, you also have welcome to the family. You have all the births that have occurred since the last reunion. And then at the end of the book, you would have in memorial of all the people who have passed since the last reunion. And this way you've got this record of this book that gets passed along through generations, but you do it for every family reunion. And now you have, you can't remember when somebody died or somebody was born. You've got it all written in the book. You got the welcome to the family, and you've got a memoriam, and you've got a memoriam section in there so that people can see these. You may, and in the you may include baby pictures with the babies and put in there, this family welcomes in da 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 da. They are this new baby is the grandchild of. You put their grandparents' names in there. You put their great grandparents' names in there. You just go back a couple of generations so that people can go, oh yes, that's how they're connected to us. Because if you just put a name and say this is their parents, some people might go, don't really remember them. Who are they again? But if you put, this is their parents, their grandparents, and their great grandparents, there's a little more substance that people can use to remember where that baby belongs in the tree. And then on the other end, when you're doing the in memoriam, put a picture of the person. If there is like a plaque or a headstone or a tombstone or something like that you can put there as well. And also put there, again, who is this person? Who were they the parents? You put like little mini obituaries in there. Who were they the parents? Who were they? Who were their parents? Who were their children? Who were their grandchildren? Who were their parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents? Where are they? Were they cremated? Were they buried? Where are they buried? Where are their ashes buried? Or where are their ashes scattered? Just there so that if you're coming in later on and, you might want to remember, oh, where did they bury, great aunt Myrtle? And you want to find out where they buried your great aunt Myrtle. So now you can go into the book and you find the year that she passed, the information there, and there is the name of the cemetery, then the plot number, maybe a picture of the tombstones in there as well. It's just it's a rolling history every time you do a family reunion to be able to do. Oh, and then you also have a marriages page as well. You got to have you've got the welcome to the family, you've got the in memoriam, and you've got who got united, and then you've got the united page of those that got married. And again, you put in, here is the bride or the groom that's from this family. This is their parents, their grandparents, their great-grandparents. They got married to this person over here, and here's their parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents. Just so it's in there. And they got married here, blah, 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 blah. There may be a picture of their wedding picture in there included. So that just so, and you want to go back like, with the parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents, just so people can find where in the tree people fit. And you may also have you could probably also do this will get very long, but you could also maybe even include a fold out family tree, but then that could go on depending how many people you have at the reunion, how big do you want to make it, that sort of stuff. You may have a descendants from this particular great-grandparent or second great-grandparent, here's their descendants, and just have it written out there. These were their children, these were their children, these are and have that broken down too. So there's different things that you can do with family reunion books, and you just update it every year. A lot of the stuff you'll keep in there, and especially like the family tree, like if you're doing the descendants pages, and if you're doing the descendants pages, you've got that information in there, and you just update it with marriages and deaths and births. And then but it's just something fun. You can be so creative with a family reunion book. I absolutely love the idea of a family reunion book, and it makes a great gift for families to be able to sit down and they can look through this. There's photographs from the reunion there. They can scan QR codes and go watch videos. They can go to a link if they have an electronic, they give them an electronic copy and you give them a physical copy. And it makes a great holiday gift. And if you're the if you're the official family genealogist or self-proclaimed official family genealogist, you to be able to give this gift to them every year, especially if the reunion's sort of like held in the first half of the year, and make sure that people know, ask them for photographs, for videos and stuff that they took at the event, so you can now go and pull this information together and pull this information together and create these books. And with the invention of with AI, it is going to make it so much easier, because you'll be able to say, oh, here, here's these videos, here's this audio file, transcribe it, and that's going to save you hours. There are even programs out there that will take a big video and chop it into smaller videos as well. So go out there, have fun with this. If you want more ideas, I can probably come up with more ideas, especially on the family reunion one, because I think that's such a great tool that you can give, a great gift that you can give to the family. And you just keep doing it. Every time there's a reunion, you pull everything together and push out the gift to everybody. I just think it's such a huge way to keep the family engaged. And now they can go back and they can remember, oh, what was it that story that, Auntie Susie was telling us about great Uncle Cyril? What was that story again? Oh, she told us it at the last family. No, it was the family reunion a couple of years ago. So you go pull out that book and you go look for Auntie Susie's story about great Uncle Cyril, and there it is. And you go, oh yeah, that's right, and da 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 da. So it's a good way, and it becomes a family reference book that the family members can go back to. They can have a look at photographs. They can have a look at, who was born that year, in the years in between, who was born from one family reunion to the next, who passed away, who got married, that sort of information. You might even want to have a, because unfortunately this does happen, there's divorce, so you may want to have a page for, I'm not sure what to call that one though, because you got united. I'm not sure what to call the divorce page though, for those that get divorced between reunions or separated. So yeah, you might want to have a page for that. Come up with some catchy little title for it. So those are just some ideas that we can have, and let me go down my little list all over again. So you've got like the family history calendar, the family photo book, digitized letters and journals, family recipe book, frameable graphics and quotes, customized ancestry map, family tree ornaments, heirloom story booklets, DNA testing kits, family history game or trivia cards, and the family reunion book with AI enhanced content, which basically means you just dump the stuff in there, it transcribes it, it can help proofread it, and then it can help you chop things up into smaller videos and things. I tell you, it will save you a ton of time. Okay, so with that, if you think of any other ideas that you might have, reach out to us, put them in the comments below. We'd love to see what ideas you've come up with for a genealogy gift that you can give to family members, or give to the family genealogist in the family. In the description below, there is a link to, where is it? It says check out Before the Dirt Nap Amazon storefront. If you go into that, click on that link and go in there, there is actually a genealogy section, genealogy resources and tools, I think it's called. And there's some ideas in there that you can use as gift ideas, as well as finding some resources that are available in there as well. Okay, and with that, we are out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys